What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another live show. It's gonna be an early transfer update. I'm gonna talk about what happened today or what didn't happen today. Weah update, Rabiot update, Parisi update, Rovella update, and apparently Perin getting sold and then staying within an hour update, which kind of was the highlight of the day, that we sold Perin and then we didn't sell Perin within like an hour's time. Like that's what kind of happened today. But we are going to discuss all of that in this live. If you're in it already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. First of all, Weah, because that's the big news of the day, which we kind of already knew, or like kind of already had an idea that it would happen, because the Dimaggio said it's going to happen this week, and apparently it is going to happen this week. Julian made a point that they will only announce it after the new financial year, so the 1st of July, basically, which makes sense if you go off the timeline, which is taking place this week. There's only almost a full agreement with Lille, let's say, as of now, 12 million euros. It could be more, it could be less, but as of now, we need to go off the assumption that it's 10 million euros and that he's going to sign, I think, a 5-year deal. I saw 4 years as well. Let's say 4 to 5 years. But that's going to happen this week. So his medical will be on Wednesday or Thursday. Now, I did a video on Weah, so I think a lot of people know what I think about him. Julian's take will come in the coach's corner very soon. Actually, what Julian is going to do is fun, because he's going to compare the fullbacks. He's going to compare fullbacks we're being linked with, fullbacks we're going to sign, fullbacks we already have in the squad, and that will be an eye opener in terms of it looks bad. Like it looks bad. Like I'm gonna tell Julian to, how do you want to say it? Like make it sound better, but going off the first info he texted me for the graphics and stuff, it looks worse than what the eye test tells you in comparison. You know, all of the fullbacks we're being linked to in, or already have in the squad and trying to replace, you know. But he's the first signing of the summer, kind of out of nowhere, if we're being completely honest. It's I don't think anyone was expecting that we were linked with him, but this has moved extremely fast and without any media attention. Normally when we are signing a player, this is also weird, even if it's announced, let's say it was announced last week that we were going to sign Weah, basically it was last week. Normally what happens the following days in the newspapers, all of the newspapers, and the following couple of days you get consistent reporting on it's going to happen this, it's going to happen now, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's this amount of money, these are going to be his wages, all those things. There's nothing, actually, if you're being completely honest, which makes this deal very strange. It feels like even the media is viewing it as a random deal, as a deal that doesn't really gonna move the needle, that doesn't really matter. But it does matter. If you think he's good or you don't think he's good, he's gonna come in and he's gonna play a lot of games, for a simple fact that he's gonna come in, fill a position that we need, you know, that requires players to be signed, and he can play multiple positions. Going off the injury record at our club, he's gonna get a lot of chances, and he will get a lot of playing time, in my opinion. So very strange reporting, because again, even today, like just today it came out, yeah, it's medical on Wednesday or Thursday, but the previous days and weeks there's nothing. Like nothing came out. I don't think has been one report suggesting what wage he's on. Like I would assume it's not going to be more than 2.5. You would assume that. Let's see. But there's actually not been some accurate, good reporting surrounding him. It's very quiet. It's done deal. And then today, yeah, it's going to happen this week, and that's about it. So let's see how that will develop. I'm not excited about the signing. I'm not mad about it. I'm just indifferent at this moment in time. You know, if he does well, good. I hope he does well. It's a very low risk signing in terms of his age, the fee you're gonna pay. But do I think he's gonna move the needle from day one? I don't believe so. Just going off what from what I've seen, and it's not a lot. It's a couple of games. Let's say 5, maybe more, probably more. But I'm gonna keep it at 5. And yeah, he's very inconsistent, and that's about it. So let's see how that will go. But that's the basically the biggest news of the day, that it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen this week apparently. So that's good. That's good news, I guess. So we can move on to the following player, which there should be some updates this week, or we all expect or assume there's gonna be some updates on him this week, and that's Parisi, who is at the Euros under 21. But even today, like, if you just read the reports, and it's all the same, no matter which newspaper source you go out and watch or read, whatever, it's all the same. It's that that deal, the Parisi deal, is gonna get done, basically. Like, it's gonna get done. It's gonna happen. I saw today Empoli value him at 70. I said it's gonna be something between 14 and 18. What I believe, and it's gonna take place. It's gonna take. We need him. Like, I think that's very obvious. We need him. Like, we need a left back. We needed a left back years ago. Remember the Pellegrini? That was at Sarri's season? No, that was Pirlo's season. Pellegrini, right? Like, we were hyping up Pellegrini when he's bad. Like, he's a bad player, but we were saying let Pellegrini play over Alexandro, knowing full well that Pellegrini going forward was okay, but defensively he was a horror show, and we still said play him over Alexandro because we had enough of Alexandro. This is the situation we're in. I'm not saying just buy Parisi because anything is better, because I believe Parisi will be better, and I think he will be here for the long run. Excuse me. That's the important thing. He's cheap. Probably his wages are going to be cheap as well. It's not going to be 3.5 or something. It's going to be something realistic, and it's good. Like, finally, time to move on from Alexandro. Now is the moment. I saw again today. I'm gonna say it was Gazzetta dello Sport reporting that some team, I forgot the name, in Saudi Arabia, was it Al Hilal? I'm not sure. We're looking at Alexandro, offering him crazy money. I really struggle to believe that. I really do. But let's hope that will make it easier for, maybe not for him. Maybe he doesn't want to leave Europe, but maybe for us, if he actually wants to leave, it's much easier to terminate that contract and just move on. Just completely move on to something younger, something much better, something really, really needed. That's the most important. Like, we need it. We absolutely need it, And linking to Alexandro, I saw Giovanni Albanese speaking about if we sell Alexandro, we will bring Hermoso in from Atletico, or we're looking at Hermoso, a center back. And immediately when that happened, Julian texted me saying it's going to be 3-5-2, and Chiesa's probably going to leave, blah, blah, blah. Don't believe anything what Giovanni Albanese said. Says, like he's a journalist, all due respect to his work, but it's terrible. Like, his reporting it's like a fan. It's like we react or fantasize. Like, it's not reporting. He sold Perin, and 1 hour later, he called himself basically a liar with another tweet. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Hermoso was linked with this for the Bremer replacement. You cannot bring a center back in to play him left back, because you already have a left back, right back, play center back. Like, it makes no sense. If you want a left back, sign a left back. If you want a center back, sign a goddamn center back. It's not that difficult to do. Like, it isn't. It's like Sule. He's a winger, and then you hear reports, he can be a good Mizzala. Maybe, but he's a goddamn winger. Play him as a winger. Don't let him man mark Zielinski or Lobotka or Brozovic. Like, play him as a winger. Ealing Jr. is a winger. Don't play him as a left back away to Sevilla. You can say it was a 3-5-2. It wasn't a 3-5-2. He was playing as a left back. And that's not going to help any player. not even an older player. I don't want to see that. And then even yesterday, I saw people going at Sule saying, "Oh, he hasn't shown enough. Just sell him." Like, what do you want him to show us? He played a limited amount of games. Excuse me. And when he played, I think he played once, maybe twice as a winger. He played in midfield to be the vacuum in that Napoli game, and he did pretty well. Then he played as a second striker. He got a few minutes here and there. That's not how you're going to see someone shine. It's the same for Miretti. He played every single position possible, Miretti. And then you have people say, oh, he hasn't shown enough. You think? What about playing him consistently in his position? Not bench him 3 games. Play him right wing. Play him second striker. Playing him as an 8. Deep lying 8. Actually, I say 8. It wasn't an 8 that game. It's all over the place. Against Napoli, he took on Sule's role for a while. Like, you're not going to develop young players like that. And I especially don't want older players come in and play a position they, quote-unquote, never played their entire life. And now they need to do it. And they do need to do it at an extremely high level. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. So, Hermoso, whatever. I don't believe it's going to be... a replacement for Alexandro, because you just cannot do that. Like, let's be completely honest. You cannot pull that off. You cannot do that. You cannot sell that to the fans. You just absolutely can't, because it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, we've done it enough. Like, already playing like Cuadrado turned into a right back. You know, when he actually wasn't a right back. We've done it so many times, and it just act normal. It's not that difficult. Just act freaking normal. Like, it's not that difficult. Before I go on, we have a new shop that's online now. As you can see, I'm wearing one of the jerseys. You can go get one. It's in the link in the bottom. It's pinned. You can check it out. There are 2 types of shirts, so you can choose. There's a premium one and a regular one. They're basically the same, but the premium one is kind of sold out size-wise, so you can go and buy the regular one, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I made this one especially for the people complaining for us being negative, and here I am wearing what we won. Although it feels like forever, but it's not forever. Like, the Sarri season is only 3 years ago. 3 years ago, like, it's not forever, but it feels like we have not won in decades, just because of the way things have been moving on the pitch, on the pitch, it's terrible. It's a terrible watch. Off the pitch, it's a headache. You know, as a fan, you need to discuss that, you need to view that, you need to see that, all those things. It's not easy. So it feels like years and years that we haven't won, but actually it's been only 3 years. You know, it's not been that long, if we're being completely honest. But yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough, especially when you see the early links, and you see why we're keeping Allegri, and it's not for the good reasons. It's for all the bad reasons, and the road we have been on is downhill, and it's going fast downhill. Like, there's no stopping at this moment. That's how it feels. Now, if we were linked with these players we're linked now, if we were linked with the players we have been linked all day, and we had, I don't know which manager, you fill in the blank. Let's say De Zerbi as a coach. I'm just a Palladino. I don't know. But we had a manager that had a completely different mindset. I will be more optimistic about even next season, going into next season. Now I'm going into the new season with the idea of, I know what happened last season. I know the Klopp isn't happy with you, and you're not really happy with the Klopp. You're not happy with the players, and the players are not happy with you. So it feels like we're going into just the same thing as last season, but probably even worse, because we're going to sell a little bit more quality, and we're going to bring in lesser amount of quality. And that's not good, you know, and that's absolutely not good. But let's move on. First, read out a few comments. I saw We also linked to Parisi from Torino. Premier believes this report just the same. I saw the price and it was like 38 million euros. Yeah, uh, I don't get it. I get why, like on the books it makes sense and all those things, but yeah, and even Perchures, I think he has been in Italy for a while, right? So it doesn't even make sense almost for them. Although we didn't win just 3 seasons ago, we just won 3 seasons ago. We have been on a down road trajectory ever since UCL final in 2017. I agree with that. I agree with that. But COVID didn't help for us, because everybody said, "Oh, it's when we signed Ronaldo." Yeah, but if COVID didn't happen, we probably would have got away with a lot more stuff, financially wise. But we didn't, and that's why we're in this situation because they tried to clean it up in a way that you cannot clean it up, and that's why we are where we are now. It's as simple as that. And also, if we be completely honest now, the the excuse me the contract we handed out or Agnelli handed out to Allegri is kind of putting us in this weird situation where we are stuck and we have no idea where to go with um, the future because you cannot sack him. Apparently, it will cost too much, but you don't really trust him, and you're not a big fan of him, and you don't really think he's one guy for the future. But you're stuck with him, and man, when you have players asking to leave, and it's all the good players, it's all the players that should be at the club, who shouldn't be asking to leave or to be sold or whatever, that's not a good sign. Like that's absolutely a terrible sign. What about Savic? Well, it's linked to Rabiot. And according to Corriere dello Sport, it's a done deal, basically. So Rabiot is going to stay, according to them, and he will sign on Wednesday. I think his contract runs down on Wednesday. I saw something like that. But whatever. They said it's a done deal. I saw the reports from English journalists saying that Man U are looking for Rabiot and that they're ready to offer, I don't know how many millions, but they're ready to make an offer. Why did it took this long for Man U to, or any team to come in? And because Rabiot basically said, I'm going to stay. Like, it's probably for certain I'm going to stay. How does that flip in a couple of days? Because it needs to flip if Man U's offer is maybe the same amount of money, a little bit more, but it's going to be 3 to 4 years. It's going to be 3 to 4 years, And today, I also saw a report, was it from Corriere or the Gazzetta, one of the two, saying that it's not a 1-year deal we're offering, but a 2-year deal with a clause that he can leave in the summer, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's a weird situation. I still am so confused as of why he would stay. I don't get it. Like, I absolutely don't get it. For him to sign a 1-year deal, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, it doesn't. You get a big injury, you're out of contract, and you're not getting paid. So for him, signing a 1-year deal makes absolutely no sense. Like, zero whatsoever. So, I'm still not sure. Like, Corriere dello Sport can report it, and somebody said they were the only one reporting it's a done deal. That's true, and I didn't believe it because it just makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense. Even if that Man U offer was not there, it still makes absolutely no sense for him to say, I'm gonna accept a 1-year deal. Like, I'm so confused with the news. I'm so confused with the reporting surrounding the potential deal that I'm not even sure what to think about it. The deadline as well keeps getting moved week by week. Now it's the end of the month, and last week it was the end of the previous week, and that didn't happen as well. Let me see, because I saw reports from the Mail coming out saying that Man U are still pushing for Rabiot, that they want Rabiot. But we need to see. We need to see if that's actually gonna happen. Because he was close to leaving last summer, if you remember, where the news was Allegri is happy to let him go, and the club was happy to let him leave, and everybody thought it's a done deal. He's gone, and then somehow, some way, like he stayed, had his best season ever, admitted that he was playing quote unquote better because you can get better deals on a free agent basis if you play better now. And that's a fear. That's my fear that, he's done well. But what about the previous 3 to 4 years? The previous 3 years prior to this one? He was anonymous. He was terrible. He wasn't good. And I don't know, man. If you tell me we can get Savic or even Fratesi if we move on Rabiot, I'll do it. Because Rabiot, if it's a 1 year deal, it's a stopgap and he will be probably gone the following season. And then what? Don't think short term, then think long term if that's possible. Because otherwise, like, it's confusing. It's really is confusing. I'm scared of the agreement the club might offer to Rabiot. Well, I think a lot of people are scared. I hope Juntuli makes some good signings. Just got trust the process because Carver signing was criticized before last season. It takes time. The Juntuli news is all over the place as well. It's this week. Last week it had been reported like this week is gonna happen, and now there are already talks about it might not even happen for the end of the month. And at that point, the club is like, whatever, you join next season. So I don't think he will have much of an impact. Not sure why we keep Rabiot 1 good year out of 4. Well, they keep him because it's cheaper than signing a player now. While the club need to focus on different areas on the pitch. That's the only reason they're keeping him. Let's be completely honest, because if they were 100% sold on him, they would have given him a long-term deal. But they're not. It feels like even they know, we need a stopgap, and that's basically it. Because otherwise they would have offered him a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. I don't know, but they haven't. They haven't. Apparently, it's a 1-year deal, and that's all you need to know at this moment in time. That's it. It's a stopgap. It feels like what they did with Di Maria, kinda, and it didn't work out for the Di Maria one. Let's see how it will go for Rabiot, basically. Let's move on. Let's move on to still another midfielder, and that's Rovella, because he's been linked with a stay, a move, a stay again, a move again, a loan deal. He's been linked with every possible transfer there is this summer, and actually, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, he's gonna stay. The club is not open to listen to offers. Romeo kind of said the same thing. Everybody's saying the same thing. The club doesn't want to sell Rovella, and I'm okay. Like, it's fine. I like Rovella. I'm concerned about his injuries. I am, but if you can tell me he can play in that holding position and it frees up Locatelli, because I don't want to see Locatelli there, then good, fine. But is he gonna be used like that? Is he gonna play a lot? Because Allegri was dropping hints that Fagioli can become a good defensive midfielder and all that crap. So I'm not sure if he's gonna play a lot of games. If he's gonna stay, if he's staying, and Rabiot stays, like Miretti's gone on loan, probably you're not gonna sell him. Do you think that midfield is good enough? Also, like the video. Thanks for watching, but please like the video. If you let's say our midfield next season is Paredes is gone, Miretti will go on loan, and Rovella comes in, and Rabiot stays, obviously. Do you think that midfield is good enough to compete at a good enough level to do some sort of damage in the league? Because you will have Pogba, if he's fit. You will have Locatelli, you have Fagioli, Rabiot, and Paredes. Do you think that midfield is good enough? Keep in mind, we might play 3-5-2. Probably going to play 3-5-2 if you're being completely honest. Do you think, or do you believe that midfield is good enough to do damage? I was still hoping we would bring in someone else. Paredes is gone, Youssef. If I said Paredes, my mistake. He's gone, obviously. I had a feeling we were going to sign a Fratesi or a Savic or somebody else. Rovella, excuse me. But if Rabiot stays, that's not gonna happen. I just listed the players, and it's too much. If Rabiot stays, it's done. And my issue is then, okay, it's a 1-year stopgap. What next season? Because if you believed in Fratesi, then you needed to tell Rabiot to hike, and you buy Fratesi now. If you believed in Savic, You told Rabiot to go and get Savic now because you're postponing the problem, but the players you like are not going to be available next summer, and that might be an issue. You know, that might be a real concern. So let's see. I'm actually excited to see Ravella play for us because I did like what he did at Monza. It was good. It was excellent. So I'm excited to see him if he's going to play, obviously. But the Rabiot thing is unexpected, and that's kind of shaping our transfer mercato at this moment in time because it's all linked to Rabiot, especially in that midfield, and who knows how it will end. According to Corriere dello Sport, done deal. According to the other sources, confident, but no done deal whatsoever. So let's see. Apparently this week we will need to get the answer, but that was a talk also prior to this week. So and that didn't happen, you know. So let's see. Let's end this live with some Arthur talk because he's coming back, but the club wants to move him on. A lot of Premier League, he wants to say, and there are some Premier League teams linked with him. Aston Villa, another unnamed team is in for him, and he might have offers from the Saudi league. If you can sell him, amazing. You're not going to terminate his contract because the cost on the books is going to be insane, so that's not going to happen. If you can sell him, good stuff, amazing. I don't think Aston Villa are going to buy him. I would be shocked if he gets an offer from the Saudis. I think it's going to be a loan. But, you know, I hope we can move him on. I do hope we can move him on for some sort of reason. Maybe it's the Saudis. Maybe it's Aston Villa. Who knows? But that will be... If we pull it off to sell him and do not take that big of a loss, that's probably amazing from this interim board, whatever you want to call them, because... because it's tough. Like, how are you going to sell a player that hasn't been good for 2 years, 3 years, and hasn't played for a year because of injury? Like, it's impossible. Also, he's on 6.5 million. Like, how are you gonna even try to sell that type of player? It's impossible. Like, it's absolutely impossible. So you need to hope for a miracle. Maybe it's the Saudis, maybe it's Aston Villa willing to waste money. I don't know. But as of now, it feels like very far-fetched that we can actually sell Arthur. Like, a loan seems like the most logical thing that will probably happen with Arthur again this summer. So let's see how that will go. Let's see in a couple of hours what Di Marzio has to say. Maybe he has a scoop. Maybe he has some info on Rabiot. Who knows? Because we laughed at Di Marzio, me included, but he is the guy kind of leading the transfer market now. Like, he has the info first-handed before anyone else. All the rest is kind of scraping and kind of copying because they're always after Di Marzio. I'm not saying Di Marzio is always right. He might be completely wrong this time, but all the other sources we trust are confirming what Di Marzio is saying, but they're just a bit late to the party. So let's see in a couple of hours which updates Di Marzio has for us. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Again, new jerseys, new shop. You can buy these. Links in the description. You have two types, so you choose yours, because one type, the premium one, there's not all sizes available, but the other one is basically the same quality and it's a bit cheaper. So if you buy one, I would recommend the cheaper one, if I'm being completely honest. You can do that. Hit the link in the description. Thanks for watching. I will be live tomorrow, and this is Julian, that is not me. He's gonna make a Milik Coach's Corner because he didn't do one last season because he was on vacation. So he wanted to do one this season. So Milik Coach's Corner coming your way, Yoo-hoo. On Wednesday, there's gonna be a fullback comparison video from Julian. That's gonna be very interesting because I've seen what he's gonna discuss, and you will be shocked. Like, you will be absolutely shocked what you will see and hear. Probably not in a good way, but it's interesting. It's interesting because the eye test kind of confirms and does not confirm what you may have seen, you know. And it's a good comparison because it includes players we're gonna sign, players we have, players we linked with, and well, draw your own conclusions after that video. But it's it's a good thing I'm not making that video. I will say that. And then we will be back, the usual stuff, tomorrow live. But yeah, let's see what DiMarzo has to say in about 2-3 hours. Thanks for watching. Like the video, and I will be back tomorrow.